Draymond Green entering the building with Klay not too far behind him. Dre has been in double figures in 3 of the last 4 games, ready to ball out. They look like they're ready tonight, don't they?
Yeah, look like they're going to a luau. Look like it's going to be a party after this one.
It might be Cancun on 3, but
Iggy didn't get the memo, though.
No, he didn't.
Game 4 tonight will be seen exclusively on TNT. With that said, we welcome in the Hall of Famer. You see him on the screen, Reggie Miller, one of the few ballers that's been shout out by Biggie Smalls on the record. Play hard like Reggie Miller, baller / Nick Killer. Shouts out to Reggie. Starting you off with the Dallas Mavericks, though, because after the game, it seemed like Jason Kidd and all the players, they act like the season was already over by some of the things that they were saying in the post-game press conference. So what have you seen from Dallas, and do you really feel like they can extend this series to a next game?
Well, Golden State will kind of make you feel that way, right? The way they put pressure on you, the way they can knock down threes, their defensive pressure. If I'm Jason Kidd, and this is what I probably would have told my team yesterday, look, guys, do you want to pack for San Francisco or do you want to pack for Cancun? Which one do you guys want to do, right? Do you want to bring a carry-on, which is going to San Francisco, a short trip, or are you going to bring out the 2 big suitcases like you're going for 2 weeks in Cancun? And that's how you challenge this team. Is it an uphill battle? Absolutely. Is it a young team? Yes. I know this Dallas Mavericks team is excited to be in a conference finals. You upset the overall #1 seed in 7 games in Phoenix in the semifinals. But right now, you're getting kind of run off the floor by the experience of Golden State, and you've got to bring something. How do you guys want to pack? Because I feel like going back to San Francisco, and he's got to challenge his guys.
Well, Reggie, you talk about the challenge that's going to be in front of them from a game planning standpoint, from an X and O standpoint. What does Dallas have to do well to have a chance to extend this series?
Well, you mentioned it in the segment before. Number one, they've got to make shots. They've lived and died by the three-point line, right? And for them to be ineffective in this series from the three-point line, it's been a struggle. So your supporting players, Reggie Bullock, Maxi Kleber, Davis Bertans, Dorian Finney-Smith, the others that were so effective in this building in the semifinals against Phoenix, they've been non-existent. Those guys got to make shots for confidence-wise, and you've got to get this great fan base into this ball game, because we do know one thing. If Golden State is close at halftime, they've had huge third quarters, and that's the experience. That's what Steve Kerr and that's what the Warriors culture has been all about, coming out and smacking you in that third quarter, putting an imprint, and trying to put you to bed. So they've got to have a substantial lead going into halftime and a cushion to work with and get this great fan base into this ball game.
Reggie, you and I played on some teams that had big guys. You're looking at this Golden State team that's undersized and small, but they put on a basketball clinic each and every night with their passing, cutting, and moving without the ball. To see this team win the way they're doing, playing pure basketball, are we seeing the best version of Golden State without a lack of any size at all, the way they beat you with just passing, cutting, and take advantage of every little mistake that you make defensively?
It's almost reminiscent of their first championship, the one they won. And what's been beautiful about it is everyone has contributed. And what Steve Kerr has done because of the injuries to a lot of their key players, he's had to play the entire roster at some point. Everyone has had their flowers throughout this regular season. So if there was an injury to occur, as there was early on and late for the Warriors, it was the next man up mentality. So everyone is contributing, and now they've got Andrew Wiggins, the overall #1 pick a few years ago that everyone kind of turned the page on. Now he's coming up and playing and being their best two-way player and contributing at the offensive end. So they've got everything clicking. They understand what's at hand here because they can get a nice long break if they can sweep the Mavericks. And they've got some key injuries. Otto Porter Jr. went out last game. Gary Payton II, the elbow injury, and Andre Iguodala. Those are 3 guys that are going to play major parts if this team eventually does get to the finals to go against either Miami or Boston they're going to need everyone healthy and recharged.
We all know that the playoffs is a grind. Now, Reggie, I'm going to ask you this. Do you remember where you were on this day 28 years ago? In fact, does that ring a bell for you or Sam Mitchell?
28 years ago.
On this day, May 24th, 1994, do you remember where you were?
No.
We went in the
Where
club,
was
I can tell you that.
You know what? Let me tell you, because through the art of television, we can show you
my
Greg Anthony
goodness.
getting the dub with the Knicks, outscoring both Sam Mitchell and
look
Reggie
at that
Miller.
shot. Did you see that shot there by Charles Oakley? See, they would go to the replay booth now, and Charles Oakley would probably be thrown out. See, this is when, Greg, you got to admit, this is when basketball was at its best. Because y'all always gave me those love taps. Sam and my Davis boys came back and gave you some. That's when basketball was beautiful. Now everything is
Reggie,
going to the replay and flagrant ones. Man, give me a love tap.
Reggie,
I love the love tap.
I'm not going to go out there and say it was beautiful. It was a hell of a lot more physical. I actually prefer watching guys play basketball as opposed to all the wrestling. We were straight WWE, and that's what you were doing, Reggie. All of that. Come on, Reg.
Reggie got hit. No.
Oh my God. My God.
And Reggie, you know what? To your point, when this show is over, I'm going to look for Oak. I'm going looking for him.
Hey,
be careful,
Reggie.
be careful what you ask.
I love the physical nature of our series, right? I mean,
They
there was
were.
no love
They were
lost.
physical.
We had words. We got into fights.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, we respected one another.
Absolutely.
And that's what was great about the competition is I might have hated Starks, Greg, Patrick, Charles, but when those series was over, it was the love, the hug, the respect that we showed one another. That was beautiful.
Yep.
Well, GA showed you guys no respect that game. A playoff career high 16 en route to a victory in game one.
Come on, GA.
We needed that, man. That was our year going to the finals, man.
It was.
Y'all are lame, man. There's two ex-Pacers up here and one New York Knicks. And y'all showed how
know.
He's a New Yorker,
man.
too. You do know.
Get him, Sam. Get him.
Hey,
I got
either
your
way,
back, young blood.
Hall of Famer Reggie, we'll listen to you on the call. We appreciate you for joining us.
Thanks, guys.
Regular
So
season.
going into this series, if you're Dallas, you're thinking we can beat this team, right?
Yeah.
We beat them 3-1, and to be on the verge of being swept, to Greg's point, it almost makes it feels like all the success you've had this year was for nothing.
Well, 146-0. No team has ever come back from being down 3-0. Now let's talk about these third quarters because Golden State, they are legendary. Now in game one, they were up at halftime. Game two, they were down. Either way, it doesn't matter. Whether they've been down or up, the Golden State Warriors' third quarter has been amazing. Plus 12, plus 10, and plus 9. And they just seem to have a different energy, Coach. When they come out of halftime, whether they're trailing or ahead, it's just something about that third quarter, especially since they've been there with Steve Kerr since 2015. Just something changes in that third quarter.
Man, as a coach, you want your team to start the games well, but you want them to come out at halftime. Most teams, when they go in at halftime, if they have a big lead, they kind of relax a little bit. They kind of rest, they breathe. But if you're Golden State, when you come out in that third quarter, you have a chance to put your stamp on that game and start a team playing from the bottom looking up. And Greg will tell you, man, after that first half, you come in whether you're up or down, and then you come out that third quarter and you generally want to take 4 or 5 minutes to kind of get back into the game, to get your juices flowing. But the team that comes out hard, ready to play, and can jump on a team with a 6-7-0 run, you kind of put your stamp on that game and start putting that team away. So give Golden State credit. They understand how important it is to start third quarters because they've been capitalizing.
How important is the third quarter going to be in this game four?
Extremely. And the third quarter is about experience and adjustments. Because when you come in, that's where your coaching staff, they will have to have identified 2 or 3 things that you can do better, that you can improve upon, or that you can hurt the opponent with. And then having the experience, which they obviously have, of being in those situations many times, understanding the importance of getting off to a good start, because you don't want to give a team like Dallas confidence. You don't want to allow a Reggie Bullock or Maxi Kleber to start making shots, because then everything changes for Dallas. Right now, you've got them wounded. You've got them maybe doubting themselves. You don't want to give them any energy or belief that they can somehow get back in this series.
Well, Steph Curry, if it's up to him, he's not going to let him get back in. He has been so impressive. You see the numbers up there on the board, three-point percentage, 48%, which is just crazy. He had his 47th career 30-point playoff game, breaking the tie with Dirk on 11th all-time on that list, only trailing amongst guards Kobe, Jerry West, and one Michael Jordan. So that's good company right there. Coach, what have you seen from Steph Curry, especially in this postseason where he stood out amongst everybody else?
Well, first of all, for the first time in a long time, he's healthy. He's playing with confidence, and now he's got his teammates around him. You got Klay Thompson back. You got Andrew Wiggins playing at an exceptional high level. And then you got Draymond Green setting screens, facilitating. And everybody, GA, the thing that I love about this team, everybody knows their role. They are a small team in stature, but when you watch how they play and pass and cut and move without the ball, it is like they're putting on a basketball clinic. Because I'm still looking out there, GA, saying, are you telling me we're gonna crown an NBA champion with a 6'6" starting center and Draymond Green and a 6'7" or 6'7.5" power forward, about 210 pounds, with Andrew Wiggins? But right now, that's what we're looking at, and it's all basketball. They don't overpower you physically. They don't do anything from a physical standpoint that wows you, but moving, cutting, playing between the ears, taking advantage of every mistake, and then incorporating that zone defense. Steve Kerr and that coaching staff, the adjustments that they've made from game to game, they really put Dallas in a tough spot.
Yeah.
And they're winning in the paint, whether it be on the boards or points in the paint, which is something that you wouldn't expect. You talk about their starting center is 6'9", but I mean, you see the boards, GA, they've been absolutely dominant in the painted area against this Mavericks team.
Yeah, and they kind of reversed the trend from the standpoint of how we always perceived what rebounding was about. Because if you think about it, the game's been inverted now. You're guarding the three-point line more than you guard the paint. And so when you're out extended defensively, that means there are going to be a lot of 50-50 rebounds. And that's where Golden State's just killed them. They've gotten to all the loose balls, especially on the offensive end, and create extra possessions. And a lot of times, and Coach knows this, when you give up an offensive rebound, that typically leads against Golden State to a wide-open rhythm three.
Yeah, G, you said it. When you look at their offense, it gives them a chance offensive rebound. When you're taking